Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we take a look at SEC best bets for the final Saturday of the regular season. Kevin Rogers and Brian Edwards with you, and the SEC with several conference games and also several games against their ACC foes. So we'll look at a couple of those today with Brian. And let's begin with one of those. Great college basketball matchup, decent on the college football gridiron. It's Louisville and Kentucky. And we'll start with that as the Cardinals a short favorite, Brian.
Yeah, I'll go with Kentucky at plus 2.5 is what I saw. Maybe by that half, probably by that half point of the key number of 3, assuming your number's 2.5. Louisville's ranked number 101 out of 130 FBS teams in the nation in pass defense, which is good news for Will Levis and Wan'Dale Robinson, who's just had a monster year for the Cats. And, Levis has been up and down, a little turnover prone at times, but last 3 games, he's thrown 9 touchdown passes. Now he has been intercepted 3 times, but 9-3 TDINT is not too bad. Chris Rodriguez, the Kentucky running back, now up to 1,150 yards, 6.1 yards per carry average. I think Kentucky's offense is going to be able to, score a lot in this game. They've scored a lot the last 3 weeks, 42 against Tennessee, 34 at Vandy isn't all that great, but it is New Mexico State, but 56 this past week. They have blown Louisville out the last 2 meetings, 56-10 and 45-13. Obviously, they did not play last year. I think the Cats win this game outright, and I'll take the points. I'm not against money line probably only gets you like plus 125, but probably should just take the points.
All right, so Brian, on Kentucky against Louisville coming up on Saturday, another SEC ACC matchup at night. It's Clemson and South Carolina. They meet in Columbia. The Gamecocks have played better of late, and Clemson off their resounding win over Wake Forest. They're just going to sit back. They still have a shot to get to the ACC championship. They're obviously done with conference play. But now let's see what Clemson can do, try to finish with 9 wins or double-digit favorite at South Carolina.
Yeah, so, I've been fading Clemson most of the year. I didn't last week, fortunately, with Wake, and it's been very successful fading them. They're 1-3 against the spread in 4 road games. They are 0-6 against the spread as double-digit favorites this year. South Carolina, their last couple of home games, 7.5 point dog to Auburn. They went outright. 20.5 point home dog to Florida. They blow UF out 40-17. This, third string quarterback, Jason Brown, who is a transfer from St. Francis of Pennsylvania, I think, obviously an FCS school. So he's had 3 starts now, 7-2 TDINT ratio. And, Clemson got that miracle cover against FSU. If not for that, they'd be 2-9 against the spread this year. And Uiagalelei only a 9-8 TDINT ratio. It's at night. Williams-Brice will be popping. I mean, this is their first good team in a number of years. So, that crowd will be big time. And just Clemson has not shown us that they're going to cover big numbers. I mean, obviously they, put it to Wake Forest pretty good last week, to Clemson's credit. But I'll go South Carolina plus 11.5.
All right, so Brian, on the Gamecocks against the Tigers coming up on Saturday night. And the final game we'll look at, an all-SEC matchup, the Jimbo Fisher Bowl, Texas A&M and LSU. They meet up in Baton Rouge. It's the swan song for Ed Orgeron. And the Aggies, we'll see if they can continue a strong season against LSU.
Yeah, A&M had a big hiccup against Ole Miss, but I mean, Oxford's not an easy place to play these days, or at least until my Gators take Lane Kiffin as their coach here in the next 10 days. But at least that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, man. A&M 5-1, both straight up and against the spread in its last 6. Now, LSU's shown plenty of fight in a lot of these games here lately, but not very impressive the other night against ULM. But played Alabama very well. But it looks like a lot of teams are playing Alabama very well right now, and played Arkansas well. An OT game, but I got to go with A&M minus the 6.5. I think that'll be too much for the Gold Tigers.
All right, so let's recap Brian's picks for Saturday night, Thanksgiving weekend in the SEC. Brian's going to take the points with Kentucky against Louisville. Also, he's going to grab the points at home with South Carolina against Clemson. He's going to lay the points on the road with Texas A&M against LSU. Brian, we appreciate the time. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next week for Georgia, Alabama.
Thanks, K-Raj.
All right, there is Brian Edwards. And before we exit here today, I want to tell you about WynnBET. And WynnBET, you could find their app on iOS or Android devices. When you download the WynnBET mobile sportsbook and you're a new patron, you can get a $1,000 risk-free first bet with a $20 minimum first deposit and eligible sports bet when you use the promo code VIBonus. That means if you lose your first wager, you get it back up to $1,000 as a free bet credit that you can use for another bet. The WynnBET promo code will expire soon, so make sure to grab it while you can. Remember, it must be 21 years or older to wager. That is the WynnBET mobile sportsbook app. I am Kevin Rogers. My thanks to Brian Edwards, and have a happy Thanksgiving weekend. And we'll talk to you again next week for our SEC Best Bets right here on Vegas Insider.